Good evening, I'm Meryl Friend and welcome to News Geelong on this wintry Wednesday the 6th of June. This year's National Celtic Festival celebrates a decade in Port Arlington this coming Queen's Birthday weekend, and World Environment Day reminds us of the importance of community uniting together to protect the parklands in our region. From the world of Geelong sport, Mitch Scoop Cleary updates us with the latest, while from the weather world we will bring you the Surf Coast and Geelong weather forecast expected over the next 6 days. But firstly, the cold, wintry weather brings with it huge demands on the many SES volunteers in our region. South Barwon volunteer Scott Clark was at Northern Bay College Wexford campus talking to grade 4 students about the important work the SES does during the storm and flood season.
We're here at Northern Bay to chat to the grade 4s today, to give them a bit of a snapshot about the SES, what they do in their community. We're also here to tell them about flood safe and storm safe and how to stay safe in those natural disasters, and give them a bit of an overview of what we did in Tasmania recently at the Australasian Rescue Challenge.
And what did that involve?
It was a competition that for teams all over Australasia. They gather around and they perform road accident rescue. So the scenarios, they mimic real life. We have a certain amount of time to get the casualties out, and we all graded on that. So it was a really fun experience. It was down in Hobart, so the weather was pretty much similar to today. But yeah, it was a really fantastic experience. We finished about midfield out of Australasia, and we're competing against teams from Hong Kong, New Zealand, Singapore, as well as all over Australia, including a couple of teams recently that are coming from the mining industry and their emergency response teams. So that was a fantastic opportunity to have a chat to them as well.
Great effort. How many people from Geelong?
We took 7 of us across from Geelong, so yeah, it was just a fantastic experience. So.
Now, there's been a young student here in grade 4 who's made this all happen at the school. Can you tell us a bit about Mitchell?
Yes, young Mitchell Young. He's a very passionate junior SES volunteer, I like to call him. So he's done a range of SES projects here at school. While we were in Tasmania, he was extremely supportive, putting projects together and promoting the team. So it was really fantastic to have him on board, and now we're just repaying him a bit and coming out here and giving him a bit of a debrief on what we did in Tasmania. It's been fantastic.
Great. Keep up the wonderful work, Scott.
No worries. Thanks, Meryl. Yeah.
Now, we're joined with Mitchell Young, who's a grade 4 student here at the Wexford campus. Now, what is it about the SES that inspires you?
Well, when I was young, I used to love the fire trucks and all the flashing lights. And then one day I was watching TV, and Mum goes, "Hey, look, that's my friend." And it was from the SES, and then I got really into it.
So, what do you think you might like to do as you get older?
Become an SES volunteer.
And what do you think the best part about it might be?
Helping people and saving lives.
All right. And do you think you might make a career or something like that too?
Yeah.
What sort of field do you think?
That's a good question.
So how long have you been interested?
Couple of years now. Yeah.
And what have you organised here for school today?
I've organised a incursion for the SES to come in and talk about what it's all about. Yeah.
And so winter's coming up. What sort of things do you think the SES need to do in the winter?
Floods and all that.
2012 is the National Celtic Festival's 10th year, and over those 10 years the profile of the event has grown locally, nationally and internationally. The festival's theme this year is gathering, participating and bringing people together. Ian Nichols has more.
Well, we're assured the rain will go away by the weekend, the long weekend for the National Celtic Festival. I've just borrowed a prop from Singin' in the Rain, which I think is fairly appropriate, and we hope that this is going to be a very successful 10th National Celtic Festival out at Port Arlington. We're speaking with one of the organisers, Una McAlinden.
Sure is. We've been gearing up all year for this big celebratory festival this year, and yes, it is our 10th, and we're really pleased to be able to celebrate it in a big way.
And I suppose the first thing we should point out is that all the venues are indoors, undercover, heated. There's absolutely no way the weather is going to interfere.
That's right, and we're actually speaking to each other today in quite wintry weather, but as we are a winter festival, we've had all sorts of weather over the 10 years, and we're totally equipped to handle anything. And yes, there's lots of open fires, there's lots of beautiful warm venues, and all you need to do is bring your jacket and you'll be fine.
Now, of course, we're getting Celtic performers, entertainers from all over Australia, but we go far beyond that, don't we?
We do. We've got the best we can find in Australia, and also the best or the most popular acts over the last 10 years. So it's a sort of a taste of where we've been over the last 10 years. And this year's international lineup is the best we've ever had. So it is fantastic. We've got the best #1 Scottish band, Brayback, who are flying out for the weekend. So basically they come in Thursday, they go back to Scotland on Tuesday. That's all they're doing is a festival. We've got the Celtic Divas, who are songstresses, young song mistresses from Ireland. They're coming together with an 8-piece band, and they're individually really well known, and they're coming together for this special celebration tour. And we've also got the Popes, who are, if anyone's heard of Shane McGowan and the Pogues, it's the Pogues without Shane McGowan. So that'll be quite interesting and quite diverse. We've got a young guy, Vic Moriarty, who's a heartthrob singer from Dublin, who's quite contemporary, but he also sings in Gaelic language as well. So we've got tons and tons of things on the program this year, so it's very exciting.
Well, the Celtic Divas have just toured New Zealand to absolute rapture, so I'm sure that they're now looking forward to the Australian tour as such, and no doubt Port Arlington will be one of the highlights of their overseas venture.
It is, and we've actually been working with them on this tour for the last year, and we're the linchpin for this tour. So this is the only place that you can see them for the whole weekend. It's the only festival on their tour, and we're also going to be having a range of things like workshops.
Well, it's all on from this Friday, but of course the preparations are well underway, aren't they?
They are well underway, and it's now turned into an event that takes the whole year to prepare for, and we've built a lot of new partnerships and connections, including international connections with arts organisations and a range of different festivals and performers and agents. So it's a year-long preparation, but it's very exciting, and we're starting to build a really big profile, both as Australia's premier Celtic festival and as a festival now that is a major festival on the international tour. So it's very exciting. So we're still moving onwards and upwards even after 10 years. I think if we stayed stagnant, there'd be something wrong. So every year I say this is going to be the best festival ever, but it really is this year. It's going to be something that you won't want to miss.
Well, taking off your sort of organiser's hat, and now, Una, what can we expect from you as a performer this time around?
Just little bits and pieces for me. I actually mainly have my sort of director's hat of the festival, and I am running around a lot, but I will be hopping on stage on and off with a couple of artists as well, but nothing too major, even though I could put myself on the main stage, I suppose, but not really. I'll just be casually hopping up and down with a few artists that we've set up a few special things with.
Well, I know you give it a real crack, as they say in Aussie rules parlance.
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
And good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks very much. Thanks.
For the 10th Annual National Celtic Festival at Port Arlington, this is Ian Nichols for News Geelong.
Thank you, Ian. And as we go to a break on this midweek edition of News Geelong, don't forget you can Twitter us on our Twitter account at News Geelong 31 with your thoughts and comments. And we'll return with more after this.